Boys and girls, this is lesson 610, exploring congruent line segments and decimals. The learning target is I can compare polygons.
So what are congruent figures? Congruent means the exact same size and shape. Not congruent means they are similar in shape or size, but not exact.
Take out your whiteboards. Number it 1 all the way through 8. Can you figure out which shapes are congruent? On your whiteboards, write a C for congruent and an N for not congruent. Try this now. Pause video here. Great job. Check your answers. Notice shapes that were congruent were the same size and shape. If I look at these letter F's, even though this one is backwards, it's still the same size and shape. If I look over here to the H and the I, they're the same size, but not the same shape.
Now, boys and girls, erase your slate, and we would like you to draw a pair of congruent squares. Your squares should look something like this. Notice how the sides of both of these squares are the same length. Even though this one is tilted, it is the same length, angles, and shape as this square.
For this next activity, you'll need page 188 and 189. The supplies you'll need are scissors and glue. We'll need a piece of paper. We'll need our pattern blocks, 1 trapezoid and 2 triangles. You'll also need the pattern block template. The first thing you're going to need to do is carefully cut out the shapes on page 189. The second thing you're going to need to do is try to find congruent pairs. You might need to turn or rotate these shapes to figure out which ones are congruent. The third thing you'll need to do is you're going to need to glue the shapes onto your piece of paper. Once they're glued, you're going to use your trapezoid and triangles to fill in these shapes. Look at the example. They used their trapezoid and triangle pattern blocks to fill in the larger trapezoids. When you come up with one arrangement, try it a different way. If you notice here, in one example, they had the triangles on each end, and the other example, the triangles are together. The same 3 pattern blocks are used to fill in both shapes. When you're done filling in those shapes, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to trace which shapes you used. Notice they used dotted lines to show where their pattern blocks were. Watch this video. Those don't look like they match. Those sides are the same, but the shape doesn't look the same. Oh, that looks like a match. Those must be congruent. They have the same size and the same shape. So, even if I turn this one, they're still congruent.
Hear my stomach growling. Or was that yours?
It
Mine or
probably
yours?
was mine. Okay. Well, then that one's done. So then we
Now watch as we demonstrate